Hello viewers, welcome to another vlog. I'm Dr. Joydev and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now today I'll talk about the lymphatic system. Now what is lymphatic system? What are the components of lymphatic system and what are the functions? So let's begin with the system. So our body has different kind of vessels. Among them, the arteries, which carries oxygenated blood to our peripheral tissues to provide oxygen for the metabolic processes in the peripheral tissue, and also there are veins which carry the deoxygenated blood towards the lung where it is filtered. That means in lung there is exchange of carbon dioxide with oxygen. So in our lung, the carbon dioxide that is produced within our body, that is released from our body via lung, and blood takes up oxygen from the atmosphere. So the filtration process of blood that takes place in lung. So this vascular system, this arterial system or venous system that is distributed throughout our body. There is another system within our bodies in circulatory system that is known as the lymphatic system. This system is also important for a lot of reasons. Now, what are the components of lymphatic systems? So here in this image you can see there are a lot of thread-like structures, the green colored structures that is distributed throughout our body. These small vessels, these are the lymphatic vessels, and these green colored roundish somehow bean like structures, these are the lymph nodes. So these two are the key components of our lymphatic system. The fluid that is present within these green colored vessels, this is known as lymph. Lymph is present within the lymphatic vessels and that carry some essential nutrients, some essential cellular elements within our body. So the fluid that circulate within the lymphatic system, that is known as lymph. The lymph is comprised of a fluid portion and the cellular element, that is mainly lymphocyte. Beside the lymphocyte there is also present of few macrophages. Now lymph comprises of fluid portion and the lymphocytes. Now what happens if there is any kind of injury or trauma to some places of body? Suppose there is a cut injury or there is a trauma or there is any infection at this portion of our body. So through the injury, any foreign body or any organism like any bacteria can enter our body and that can spread throughout our body. This lymphatic system helps to get rid of that bacteria which has just entered our body. How they eliminate those bacteria? First, this bacteria, when it enters our body, it travels through the lymphatic system and it reaches the draining lymph nodes in that region. So after entering into the lymph nodes, these lymph nodes are the places where there are the maximum number of lymphocytes. Lymphocytes, they reside within these lymph nodes also, and there are a lot of lymphocytes. There are mainly two types of lymphocytes within the lymph nodes. One is T lymphocyte and another is B lymphocyte. This B lymphocyte that produces or makes antibody, different antibodies within our bodies, and this T lymphocyte is concerned with cellular killing of the organisms. So these antibodies, when some bacteria that enters within the lymph nodes, these B lymphocytes are activated and they produce specific antibodies for those bacteria which has just entered, because there are millions and billions of bacteria, viruses, parasites within our environment. So one antibody is not potent enough to kill all those organisms. We have to make specific antibodies for specific organisms, and B cell is capable of making that quite well. So some bacteria which has just entered our body and reached the lymph nodes, then after exposure with that bacteria, our B lymphocyte, they will make antibodies, and those antibodies will be utilized to kill those bacteria. Okay. Also, when the bacteria reaches the lymph node, some T cells or the T lymphocytes, they are also activated, and they are specifically activated against the specific bacteria or viruses or any foreign cells. Even they can be activated against, there are a certain type of lymphocytes which are known as NK cells, which are capable of killing virus infected cells as well as cancer cells. So there are a lot of functions of lymphatic systems. So first, they helps to kill any foreign invader, that may be a bacteria, that may be a parasite, fungus, or any virus. Even it can help in control of cancers. If there is any cancer and the cancer cells, if anyhow that enters in the lymphatic system, they will be eliminated in the lymph nodes. So lymph nodes and the lymphatic systems, these are very important for protection against microorganisms like bacteria, virus, parasites, fungus, etc. They are also capable of killing cancer cells. They are also capable of killing virus infected cells. So there are a lot of functions. Also, there are numerous lymph nodes within our abdomen in the mesenteric region. These are known as the mesenteric lymph nodes, and the vessels in the mesenteric region, they are capable of carrying the lipids that has just been absorbed from the gut. So they also helps to transport lipid within our body. So what happens? The fluids, the extracellular fluids in the tissues, that I'll be describing about it later on, but the fluids that is accumulated within the extracellular spaces, they enters the lymphatic systems and they travel towards the center of the body, and they usually drained within the circulatory system in the veins, and thereby they reaches the main circulatory system that is comprised of arteries and veins. So the extracellular fluid that is collected within the lymph nodes and that travels within our body as lymph, they gradually they move towards the center of body and ultimately they drain within the venous system. Now what happens, this is the peripheral portion of the circulatory system, and this is called a capillary, where the arteries, they are divided into small branches, and again they divide into smaller branches. Those are known as arterioles, and finally they meet with the venules and they finally drain into the surrounding vein. So the oxygenated blood, or the blood that is carrying various nutrient substances, they, when they reach the capillary region, they easily leaks out within the extracellular spaces. Thereby there are some fluid along with some nutrients. Those nutrients will be utilized in our peripheral organ, but what happens to the fluid? That amount of fluid which resides in between these cells, those are known as the extracellular fluids. They gradually builds the lymph, and they are returned back to the vascular system. So the fluid initially that leaks out the capillaries and they resides within the extravascular spaces, and with the help of lymphatic systems they are returned within the vascular system as well as. So this is the circulation of lymphatic system. Now I'll be covering an interesting point in this lymphatic system. There is an interesting difference between the vasculature, normal artery or veins, with the lymphatic vessels. What happens in lymphatic vessels? Let's see. So in the periphery, these lymphatic vessels are lined by endothelial cells like that. So this is one lymphatic vessels. So there are some openings within the wall of lymphatic vessels, and the outside is the extracellular spaces. That means these are the normal cells, and the spaces in between these cells, these are the extracellular spaces where the extra amount of fluid that builds up. Now when the pressure in the extracellular spaces is more than the internal pressure, that means there are more amount of extracellular fluid, then this fluid that creates a pressure on the vessel wall, and this vessel wall, they gradually make spaces for the fluid to enter within the lymphatic system. But when the pressure within the vessel increases, then they basically they pushes these endothelial cells and gradually blocks this opening. So water or the fluid that can easily enter within the lymphatic systems, that is not easy for it to get out of the lymphatic system, and after entering into the lymphatic system they gradually travel towards the body, towards the heart, where it will be drained within the venous system. And how does this occur? Because there are presence of multiple valves within the lymphatic vessels, and that will guide the unidirectional flow of the lymph within the lymphatic vessels. So lymph can flow from the periphery to the center, but it cannot flow from the center to the periphery. If there is any kind of pressure, these valves will get closed, so the flow from the center to the periphery will not occur. So this is on important excuse me, difference between the lymphatic system and the normal vascular system within our body. And one thing I want to say, that these lymph nodes are the places where the lymphocytes, the B lymphocyte, the T lymphocyte, they usually mature. That means they are exposed to specific antigen, specific organism, and where they are activated, and they by activation they can produce specific antibodies, and there is formation of activated T cells. Those are activated against a specific set of antigen that is present on the bacteria that has just entered the lymph node. Thereby they are the key components of our immune system. So that's it for now. If you think this video is helpful, then don't forget to hit the like button. If you are new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to hit the all notification button, because if you hit that button, whenever I publish any kind of health related videos, that will be sent to you immediately. And if you think this video is helpful, or in any way it is informative, you can share this video in social media with your friends. And also you can visit my channel. There are a lot of videos, health related videos. You can just scroll down my channel, and if you are new, then don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.